As part of Drive's safety feature, we're taking a look at tyres. Modern cars are very different to the cars of yesteryear, right from the way they drive to the built-in safety features and technology that help prevent and protect us in an emergency situation. What's not different is the important role a tyre plays. Without a good tyre on your car, safety features such as stability control and ABS simply cannot perform at a level that they are intended to. We're going to show you 4 different sets of tyres. Firstly, an OE set, which means original equipment fitted to the vehicle from the factory. In this case, a quality set of Michelins. Second set of tyres will show you a worn set of the Michelin OEs. Thirdly, a cheap set of tyres in case you're on a budget. And lastly, a quality set of Bridgestone performance tyres. So let's see how they perform in an emergency situation. The car we are using is Drive's current overall Car of the Year winner, the Toyota Camry Hybrid. For the record, we are leaving all safety aids turned on just as you would in the real world every time you leave your driveway. And all the tyre pressures are set to the manufacturer's recommendations for equality. For the test, we are in a controlled environment at Wakefield Park Raceway, but to replicate the real world as best as possible, we'll carry out a dry and wet brake from 100 kilometers per hour to a dead stop, and then an emergency turn in wet conditions at 80 kilometers per hour. To pick the tyres for our test, we visited an independent tyre retailer and presented them with our 2 scenarios. Firstly, we needed a budget set of tyres as we did not want to spend a lot of money. Secondly, budget wasn't an issue this time and we just wanted a quality performing set of tyres. For the budget set, we ended up with a tyre called the Greenlander Gold HO1. And for the quality performing tyre, the Bridgestone Potenza RE003 was recommended. The first set out of the pits are the Camry's OE Michelins. We've done thousands of kilometres in Camry hybrids, all riding on this tyre, so we're very used to this setup. So we'll use these as our benchmark for the test. In both wet and dry braking, the tyres were gripped up and felt strong. In the wet emergency sharp turn, the stability control and Michelins worked together and the car completed the exercise with minimal fuss. No real surprises here, to be honest. Okay, so these are our worn set of OE tyres that we're testing, and you can feel the difference straight away. Even down to the squealing like that without even trying around corners. But the steering doesn't feel quite as accurate. It feels more jelly-like, I guess you could say, which is kind of scary because as the tyres wear on the car, you get used to it and don't know it, but testing them back to back, you can certainly feel it. Listen to that squeal. So here we go. Here's a dry brake at 100 kilometers an hour. Let's see how they go. Whoa. Wow, okay, definitely more of a difference there. The car did end up further along on our braking markers. Wow, totally noticeable. There was also a considerable difference in the wet braking, with the car taking much longer to stop. It was the same at the emergency turn, with the car now understeering badly and struggling to stay on the track. Okay, so now we've got our super budget tyres on and we're about to tackle the 100 kilometer an hour dry braking test. And let's see how it goes. Here we go, spot on 100 and oh, dearie me. Is that further than the OE worn tyres? That did not feel positive at all. The car moving around and it just wanted to keep going. Yeah, that's not good. But the worst was yet to come. In the wet braking, the budget tyre felt like it was skimming across the top of the track. The Camry's anti-lock brakes were screaming for help from the tyres, but got minimal assistance. One thing that is noticeable, the car still squirms around a lot, not too dissimilar to the worn out tyres, but it kind of actually feels worse. So I'm not too confident about this cornering test. Oh, jeez. Oh, Christ. I tell you what, I wasn't ready for that. That was clean off the track. Clean off the track. That was just total understeer, and it did not want to grip up at all. Okay, so that wet cornering was just outright dangerous. As you saw there, no grip, clean off the side of the track, spot on 80 kilometers an hour. Imagine that in an emergency situation. Imagine there's a child standing there or another car. Like, that's just, yeah, you don't even really want to think about that sort of stuff.
Our last set on the list is the Bridgestone. Heading out onto the track, the Camry feels good again, like it did in the beginning with its OE boots on, nice and tight with a positive steering feel. At the wet braking, there is an instant difference. The Camry nosedives harder than ever, the ABS has a deeper sound, and my chest is hard into the seatbelt this time. The car has stopped in what can only be described as an obvious shorter distance. At the emergency corner, as I yank on the steering wheel, the car responds instantly. The stability control activates and helps guide the car around the exercise with the least amount of fuss. Last is the dry braking. This time, the Camry really does nosedive like never before, and yet again stops in an obvious shorter distance than any other time. So, what are the results? Well, the quality performance tyre outshone the rest. In the dry braking, it bettered the OE tyres by 3.6 metres. The worn tyres then added a further 2.8 metres on their brand new siblings, and the budget tyres were 2 metres worse on top of that. That's 8.4 metres of braking difference between the best and the worst. Wet braking emphasised that. The performance-focused Bridgestone stopped 4.5 metres better than the Camry's factory-fitted tyre, whereas the worn tyre took an extra 6.5 metres to stop, and the budget tyre added an extra metre. That's an alarming 12 metres difference between a quality performance tyre and the budget-focused tyre. Easily the difference between having an accident or not, or even worse, life or death.
Well, that concludes our testing, and there has been a few surprises, but we have proved one thing, and that is the tyre that's connecting you to the road and linked to all those safety systems definitely makes a difference.